I took the night shift because nobody else wanted it. That should have been my first warning. The pay was better than anything I'd ever had, especially for someone with no degree, no real plan, and overdue bills stacked on a kitchen counter I was actively avoiding. The job sounded simple enough: overnight security at Blackridge Medical Archive, a privately owned records storage facility on the edge of town. Not a hospital, not anymore. That detail mattered more than I realized. The building used to be St. Dymphna Hospital, a psychiatric institution that shut down in the late 1990s after funding cuts, lawsuits, and rumors no one officially acknowledged. Years later, some corporation bought it cheap, renovated only the front administrative wing, and converted the lower floors into a climate-controlled archive for old medical files, legal documents, and off-site storage. The upper floors stayed closed. Structural issues, my supervisor told me on my first day. He said it too quickly. The building sat alone behind rusted fencing, surrounded by dead trees and cracked pavement. Even during daylight, it looked wrong. Too big, too empty, like something built for more people than the world could provide. At night, it was worse. The first shift was mostly boring. Clock in at 10, monitor security cameras, walk the first and second floors every hour, check doors, log anything unusual. The rules were printed on a laminated sheet beside the monitor. Rule 1. Never leave the security office between 3:13 and 3:33 a.m. Rule 2. If you hear knocking from an interior door, do not open it unless scheduled staff are present. Rule 3. Ignore voices coming through the intercom after midnight. Rule 4. The elevator is disabled. If it arrives on its own, do not enter. Rule 5. If you see a patient in a hospital gown, escort no one. I laughed when I read that. Actually laughed. My supervisor didn't. Just follow the rules, he said. Then he left. The first few nights were normal, if unsettling. Endless fluorescent hallways, old tile floors, the smell of dust, bleach, and something metallic buried beneath both. Rows of archive files in reinforced rooms. Motionless wheelchairs left in corners, supposedly abandoned from before a renovation. I told myself the place only felt creepy because I knew what it used to be. By the sixth night, I started noticing things. A door I'd logged as locked would be opened during my next round. A wheelchair near radiology would shift positions. Lights flickered most often near stairwell C, which led to the sealed upper floors. And every night, at exactly 3:13, the intercom clicked on. At first, it was only static, then breathing, slow, uneven breathing. I reported it. My supervisor said the old wiring caused interference. I asked why it happened at the exact same time every night. He just stared at me for a second, then changed the subject. That should have been my second warning. Night 10 was when I saw her. 3:21 a.m. I was in the security office, exactly where I was supposed to be, half watching camera feeds while scrolling on my phone. Then camera 12 flickered. Hallway B, second floor. At first, nothing. Then, movement. A woman in a hospital gown slowly crossed the far end of the corridor. Barefoot, thin, had tilted slightly to one side. She disappeared around the corner near the pediatric wing, which had been permanently sealed. I sat upright so fast my chair nearly tipped. I rewound the footage. There she was again. Same slow walk, same gown, but when I zoomed in, my stomach turned. Her feet never touched the floor. Not clearly. It looked like she was gliding, inches above it. I called my supervisor immediately. No answer. I checked the time stamp again. 3:21. Against every instinct, I broke Rule 1. I told myself it was probably a trespasser, some homeless woman, a prank, anything rational. I grabbed my flashlight and radio and headed upstairs. The second floor felt different at night, quieter than silence should allow. My footsteps sounded wrong, like the hallway was swallowing them before they could echo. I reached hallway B empty. No woman, no movement, just flickering fluorescent lights and peeling paint. Then I heard it, a child laughing. Soft, distant, from behind the sealed pediatric ward doors. I froze. The laugh came again. Then multiple voices, children whispering over each other, I backed away so fast I nearly fell. That's when the intercom above me crackled to life. Security. I stopped breathing. It was a little girl's voice. Please. He put us in the walls. Then screaming. Not one voice. Dozens. I ran. I don't care how that sounds. I ran like an animal. Back to the office. Slammed the door. Locked it. Every camera feed was static except one. Camera 8. Security office exterior. Something was standing outside my door. Tall, motionless, wearing a doctor's coat. Its face was hidden, but its head was slightly lowered, like it was reading my nameplate. Then it knocked. 3 slow knocks. I don't think fear is the right word for what I felt. Fear implies thought. This was instinct. Ancient, primal certainty that opening that door meant death. So I stayed still. The thing knocked again. Then the intercom beside me clicked. A man's voice this time. Calm, professional. You're not authorized to be here after curfew. I don't remember crying, but I remember tears on my hands. Then, the security office phone rang. Not my cell. The landline. I stared at it. 1 ring. 2. 5. 10. Finally, I answered. It was my supervisor. His voice was shaking. Listen carefully. Do not respond to anything outside that office. Do not look at camera 8. And whatever you do, do not let them know you can hear them. Who? I whispered. He was silent for a second. Then he said something I'll never forget. The patients weren't the dangerous part. The line went dead. Outside the door, the knocking stopped. For a moment, there was silence. Then came the sound of metal scraping slowly across the door, like something sharp carving into it. I covered my ears. At 3:33 a.m., it all stopped. Every sound, every camera returned. Camera 8 was empty. Morning came. I checked the office door. There were words carved into the metal. Check the basement. I quit that morning. I truly intended never to go back. But fear was something terrible to people. It makes you need answers more than safety. So 2 days later, I returned, daytime, armed with my phone camera, bolt cutters, and enough false confidence to get myself killed. I found basement access through an old laundry corridor. The company had officially sealed it. Unofficially, someone had broken the lock before me. The basement was massive, older than the rest of the building. Concrete walls, rusted pipes, abandoned surgical equipment covered in sheets. And then, the records room. Not archived patient files. Staff files. Thousands of them. Doctors, orderlies, administrators, alongside videotapes, reels, photographs, experiment logs. St. Dymphna hadn't just treated psychiatric patients. It used them. Sensory deprivation, experimental surgeries, isolation studies, drug trials, children included. And one name appeared constantly. Chief Medical Director, Dr. Elias Vane, the same name engraved on the office door plaque outside camera 8. Then I found the hidden section, a narrow hall behind a shelving unit. Dozens of tiny doors, wall compartments. Some were empty, some weren't. I'm not describing all of it. I can't, but I found enough to understand what the girl's voice meant. He put us in the walls. Before the hospital shut down, evidence suggests patients, especially children, were hidden during inspections. Some never left. Some were literally sealed into maintenance spaces to avoid discovery. I stumbled out and took everything I could carry to the police. The investigation reopened 6 months later. Blackridge shut down permanently. Officially, they cited structural hazards. Unofficially, no one would stay through the night. My supervisor disappeared before investigators could question him. No forwarding address, no family contact, just gone. But here's why I still don't sleep properly. 3 years later, I got a padded envelope with no return address. Inside was one VHS tape, labeled in faded marker. First night, new security. I don't own a VHS player. I should have thrown it away. I didn't. I paid to have it digitized. The footage came from security office camera 1. My first night. It showed exactly what I remembered. Me sitting at the desk, nervous, bored, alive, until 3:13 a.m. That's when I saw something I had never noticed. Behind me, in the dark reflection of the office window, someone was already inside. standing in the corner from the moment my shift began, tall, wearing a doctor's coat, watching me, not moving. 4 hours. At 3:13, it slowly raised one hand and pointed toward the basement. I checked the timestamp 3 times because I wanted to be wrong. I wasn't. The figure had been there the entire night, waiting. I don't work security anymore. I don't go near hospitals after dark. And if you ever take a night job somewhere old, somewhere abandoned, somewhere people describe as renovated, ask what they left untouched. Because sometimes the scariest thing in a building isn't what happened there, it's what was never allowed to leave.